Hey, this is Mike from IntroStars, and this week we're super excited to launch a brand new episode of the Super Connectors podcast with a very special VIP guest, Mark Fraser. Hey Mark, so nice to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me, Mike.
Wonderful. Can you tell us a bit more about yourself and what it means for you to be a super connector?
Well, I'm a serial founder. I've started 7 companies in my lifetime. And what it means to me to be a serial super connector is to bring together amazing people and bring that value to other people.
So how did you start becoming a networker, a connector? Was there a pivotal moment in your life where you thought, oh yeah, I really enjoy doing this, I want to connect more people? Tell me more about that.
Oh, wow. It was actually while I was working for Nintendo.
Wow.
I saw the value and I learned the value from them of connecting with people. And I learned the value of being for everybody and also connecting with everybody and resonating with people on their level.
So what were you doing exactly in Nintendo? Like how were you connecting people there? Like how did that come about?
I was actually part of the support team. So we helped launch everything from the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And through that, we were helping people. So we were helping tons of Nintendo customers. While we were doing that, we were also going to loads of their marketing events. And through that, I built a network and I started to expand. And before that, I was also a video games developer. That's kind of how I got introduced to Nintendo. So I thought, you know what, let me just try and expand my network in the games industry as well, because that's the industry I wanted to ultimately end up in.
And so what types of people did you introduce as a super connector? Like what kind of introductions do you do on a regular basis?
Well, I kind of, because I've met a lot of people in the wellness industry.
Yeah.
Because you're always trying to self-improve and you're always trying to get better as a person.
Of course. We're all biohackers, right?
And they're great. They're just great people, you know, just
Yeah.
great people with great energy. So I feel like that was really my calling in terms of like introducing people. And I felt like that's where I could help the most.
And so do you define yourself as a super connector? What does that really mean to you?
I mean, it is something that I'm starting to come around to, actually. It's a really cool way of expressing it. I never really thought of myself as a super connector. I just thought, you know what, I'm meeting people, I'm having fun, I'm enjoying myself, I'm helping people in some cases, mentoring people in some cases, connecting people and putting people who have like complementary features together. So for me, it was just part of my natural aura. And I get it a lot from my mother as well. So she's like a total social butterfly. Yeah, so, you know, that just had to get passed down in the genome to me.
So you enjoy connecting the dots.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I remember when I met you at the networking event for founders, those rare founders.
Yes.
Immediately, you know, we started talking about connecting people, about being super connectors. And I just saw that passion, you know, in our conversation.
Absolutely.
That you had about connecting people. And obviously you've got a big network today.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a bit more about how you value those interactions, connections, introductions, and what's your approach to networking?
Well, I like to go by the 4 R's, right? So I like to go by your relationship with somebody.
Yeah.
And also your the relevance to the person you're connecting them to, and also the person's reliability, because you never want to connect people with someone who isn't reliable.
Yeah, and have you had like some good and bad experiences around that? Like, what's your experience to build that strategy around the 4 R's?
Yeah. I suppose that every connection is a bit of a hit and miss. You never know how it will go because there's always some underlying circumstances, but you have to do a little bit of due diligence, you know, to actually make sure that that is going to be a valuable connection. So you have to do a little bit of groundwork, a little bit of talking, and make sure that it's a win-win for both parties.
Exactly. You know, it's all about creating value around you, creating win-wins. Exactly. So when you talk about connecting people, it's all about helping others, creating value, as we just talked about. But obviously, it's also about monetizing. Somehow, you have to pay the bills. So how do you walk that fine line between making good, valuable introductions and helping people, but also somehow monetizing? How do you do that?
Well, that's going back to those 4 R's, but also it's going back to the win-win as well. So you've literally got to say to someone, look, you know, you are doing this anyway, you'll do it faster with this person and you'll benefit more, or there's a mutual beneficial aspect to that relationship, because at the end of the day, doing something on your own is hard, doing something together is easy.
Yeah, but what about those introductions where you monetize? We're talking about real estate introductions, customers and businesses. Like, what kind of introductions do you look at in terms of monetization, and how do you approach that?
Right, okay. I've done quite a few different ones actually. So I've done ones for big tech companies, and also for festivals, and also for the property market as well. So every time I approach that, obviously I've got to look at it in terms of okay, that relationship at some point has to get to a point where it's a commercial relationship.
Yeah.
So you have to go from that's just your friend to that's someone who is potentially going to get you paid on the other end when you introduce that to that person to the other person. But you've also got to make sure that you're looking after both parties as well, and it's a mutual relationship that's going to work for each other, because at the end of the day, you want to have a quality relationship between those people that you had and pass it on. If that makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. So how do you track the introductions you make or receive? Do you use some kind of spreadsheet or tool? Obviously, if you look at new tools like intro stars, which allow you to track every introduction you make and receive in one single view, and obviously monetize if a deal comes out of it, actually for you to get paid as an introducer, how does that change your approach? Or not just for you, but for other people out there who are super connectors and networkers?
I found the platform amazing actually, because I could just keep everything on the platform, and I can keep track of all my messages, and also keep track of my clients, and also the progress of my introductions as well. And also I can connect with them through LinkedIn and other platforms that are commonly used as well. So I can connect with them even further.
So what did you use before that? Did you use some kind of spreadsheet or tool? Did you track anything? You didn't track at all? Like, what was your approach to networking before?
I was doing in-person networking. So every time I'd meet someone at an event, I'd write down on pen and paper. I learned that from someone in the property industry, actually. Susanna Cole, she taught me how to do that part of networking. So she taught me, when you work the room, write down everyone's name on a piece of paper, their number, their details, and then keep track of that, and then have 5 to 9 touch points with them. And that doesn't mean a text message, it means a phone call, or you have a sit down on a coffee or a Zoom call with them. So you build that relationship over time. You're not just, passing along numbers, you're building relationships and then fostering that with the next person that you pass it on to.
So where do you keep all these pieces of paper?
I've got a filing cabinet somewhere.
Are you going to digitize that at some point?
I'm trying to. I'm working through it. I've got 26K connections now, so I think 10K of them were from last year. So maybe I'll sit down one day and just spend the rest of the year doing that.
Yeah. So do you see any trends in like networking, business introductions, connections, any trends you see, and how are you adopting those trends yourself?
I mean, I'm currently on a few business accelerators, and I feel like a lot of people are facilitating connections as well. So before, you just got put in a room and there wasn't a plan, and everyone just like went and met everyone they could, and it was based on your social sort of, how can I put it, courage, I guess. But now it's getting a lot more organized, where you can have a meeting app, and for example, I'm going to Slush in Helsinki, and they've got a whole meeting system where you can book a meeting with someone, and you can actually have a sit down and a coffee, and it's all systemized, so you can stay organized and on top of it, and you can manage your time a lot better.
And so do you have any recommendations for people who are starting their networking journey, their super connector journey, who start to go to more networking events and connect people? Any advice or recommendations or tips you would have?
I mean, I usually say just smile, wave, and say hello.
That's always a good technique. I love that,
Keep track of people, and also follow up. If you say you're going to do something, make sure you do it. Because like we were speaking about earlier, trust is a massive issue. So if you can't be reliable and you can't come back to someone in a timely fashion, they're not going to trust you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, trust is everything, especially in the world of networking, business connections. You build your personal brand, your reputation, etc. So important. Sure. So what are you working on today? Where can people follow you? What are you working on? Any cool projects for the next couple of months and years?
I'm actually a video games developer and trying to become a video games publisher as well. So I'm working on 6 video game titles.
Wow.
4 of them are in-house titles, and one of them is with a charity called Urban MBA. So they work with people to teach them entrepreneurial skills. So I'm working on a video game that's both educational and it's fun for them, and that's going to be coming out quite soon for mobile, possibly PC.
So you're going to compete with Nintendo or work with them potentially.
Hopefully one day. You know?
So where can people find those games? Do you have a website or a social media? Where can people find you?
Yeah, on every platform we're Aero Astro Arts Limited, or just Aero Astro Arts. Also, you can find me by searching me as Mark Fraser on LinkedIn, or through my website Aero Astro Arts, or every social media platform is all Aero Astro Arts.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. I'm sure people are going to be very excited to follow your adventures. Hopefully, get some of your amazing connections and run into you at many networking events.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, so nice to have you today, Mark. Great conversation. Really enjoyed it. And I'm sure I'm going to see you very soon after Slush, right?
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure, and thank you so much for having me.
Cool. Thanks, Mark. Take care.
You.